that. So I am going to send you back with just very minor instruction, and I'm sorry for this, but I just want to make sure that we cross all the T's and dot all the I's. And as Attorney Pattis had pointed out, I had asked you, you probably don't remember now because it was days ago, just to have the foreperson initial each page as well as sign. Also, I don't see any decimal points, and that's fine. It's consistent throughout, so we can leave it at that. So by that, I mean there's no decimal point 00, but that is fine. I just wanted to point that out. All right, so we will send the jury back in with that, and then when you're ready, we'll come back out. Do we have a marshal with him?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Mr. Farrow, you'll remember to call when we're done. You'll remember to call our alternates and also to reactivate the case on the internet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just so you know, counsel, the math was correct, and it was signed and dated. The only issue was the initials.
Written note, Your Honor.
All right. Received at 3:33 p.m. Quote, "We are ready with our unanimous verdict," end quote, signed and dated by the foreperson. All right, so we can bring them out. Very polite. Seats. The record will reflect that the entire panel has returned. And thank you for indulging me with that. All right, so I think we can, yes. We don't have to, unless counsel wants, do you want them recalled one more time by their number?
No.
I don't think it's necessary, but okay.
No.
Now just bear with me, all right? decimal points in. All right, Mr. Ferraro. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please listen to your verdict as it is read. Verdict. We, the jury, have reached our verdict as to damages in this case. We award damages to each plaintiff and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, LLC, as follows. Roman numeral 1, compensatory damages. Instructions. Fill in both numbers for each plaintiff, then go to section 2. Please enter your damages assessments for each plaintiff on the lines below. To Plaintiff Robbie Parker. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $60 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $60 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Robert Parker and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, total $120 million, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff David Wheeler. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $25 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff David Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $55 million, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Francine Wheeler. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $24 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Francine Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, total $54 million, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Jacqueline Barden. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $10 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $18,800,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Jacqueline Barden and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $28,800,000, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Mark Barden. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $25 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $32,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Mark Barden and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $57,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Nicole Hockley. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $32 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $41,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Nicole Hockley and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $73,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Ian Hockley. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $38 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $43,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Ian Hockley and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $81,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Jennifer Hensel. A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $21 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $31 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to Plaintiff Jennifer Hensel and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $52 million, initialed by juror number 1. To Plaintiff Donna Soto. A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $18 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Donna Soto and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $48 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Carly Soto Parisi, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $30 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $36 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Carly Soto Parisi and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, as line A and line B, $66 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Carlos Matthew Soto, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $18,600,000. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $39 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Carlos Matthew Soto and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $57,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Jillian Soto Marino, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $30 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $38,800,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Jillian Soto Marino and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $68,800,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff William Aldenberg, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $45 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $45 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff William Aldenberg and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $90 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Erica Lafferty, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $18 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $58 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Erica Lafferty and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $76 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff William Sherlach, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $9 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $27 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff William Sherlach and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $36 million, initialed by juror number 1. Number 2, award of attorney's fees and costs. Instructions, check yes or no. If you check yes, the judge will determine the amount due to the plaintiff for reasonable attorney's fees and costs, and will then award the plaintiffs that amount at a later date. If you check no, the judge will award $1 to the plaintiffs for their attorney's fees and costs. We, the jury, find that the standard charge for the assessment of attorney's fees and costs have been met. Yes, it's checked. Reasonable attorney's fees and costs to be awarded by the judge at a later date. Initialed by juror number 1. And the last page is the fore-person juror number 1 signature in the date of 10/12/2022, also initialed by juror number 1.
The verdict may be accepted and recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please listen to your verdict as it has been accepted and recorded.
Do you need a minute?
No, all right. Verdict. We, the jury, have reached our verdict as to damages in this case. We award damages to each plaintiff and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, LLC as follows. Number 1, compensatory damages. Instructions. Fill in both numbers for each plaintiff, then go to section 2. Please enter your damages assessments for each plaintiff on the lines below. To plaintiff Robert Parker, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $60 million. B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $60 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Robert Parker and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems add line A and line B, $120 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff David Wheeler, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $25 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff David Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $55 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Francine Wheeler, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $24 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Francine Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $54 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Jacqueline Barden, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $10 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $18,800,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Jacqueline Barden and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $28,800,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Mark Barden, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $25 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $32,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Mark Barden and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $57,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Nicole Hockley, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $32 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $41,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Nicole Hockley and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $73,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Ian Hockley, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $38 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $43,600,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Ian Hockley and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $81,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Jennifer Henson, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $21 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $31 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Jennifer Hensel and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $52 million, initialed by juror number 1. To the plaintiff Donna Soto, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $18 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Donna Soto and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $48 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Carly Soto Parisi, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $30 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $36 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Carly Soto Parisi and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $66 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Carlos Matthew Soto, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $18,600,000. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $39 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Carlos Matthew Soto and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $57,600,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Jillian Soto Marino, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $30 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $38,800,000. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Jillian Soto Marino and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $68,800,000, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff William Aldenberg, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $45 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $45 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff William Aldenberg and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $90 million, initials by juror number 1. To plaintiff Erica Lafferty, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $18 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $58 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Erica Lafferty and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $76 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff William Sherlock, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $9 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $27 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff William Sherlock and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, add line A and line B, $36 million, initialed by juror number 1. Roman numeral 2, award of attorney's fees and costs. Instructions. You check yes or no. You check yes, the judge will determine the amount due to the plaintiffs for reasonable attorney's fees and costs and will then award the plaintiffs that amount at a later date. You check no, the judge will award $1 to the plaintiffs for their attorney's fees and costs. We, the jury, find that the standard charge for the assessment of attorney's fees and costs has been met. Yes is checked. Reasonable attorney's fees and costs to be awarded by the judge at a later date, initialed by juror number 1. The last page is juror number 1's signature and the date 10/12/2022, and is also initialed by juror number 1. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you all agree that this is your verdict?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything further, counsel, before I discharge the jury?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
All right. Now, as you will recall, when we started the case, I read some preliminary instructions to you, and I now have a brief, and I promise you, brief statement to read to you regarding post-verdict communications. You've now concluded your service as jurors, and jurors often ask whether they can discuss their jury experience with others. Under our law, that decision remains solely with each one of you. If you wish to discuss your jury service with others when you're asked about it, or even if you're not asked about it, you may do so. On the other hand, if you choose not to discuss your jury service with others, you may refuse to do so. The choice is yours. It is your right to decide whether to speak or not speak about your experience. Now, you may be contacted by members of the media seeking comment from you about your experience in this case. You are under no obligation to speak to the media, nor do you need to provide any explanation for not doing so. As you know, highly publicized trials may arouse strong reactions in the public. For this reason and others, you may wish not to publicize your service as a juror. That decision is entirely your own. Now I can deviate from the script. On a personal note, I would like to thank you all for your service and your dedication in serving on this jury, for taking time out of your busy lives. I hope that you found the experience a rewarding one, and I thank you for your service on behalf of the parties, the lawyer, and the court. You are hereby formally discharged from your service as jurors. Thank you again. We are adjourned.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2. Good. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Good.
Very close to it. Get the tip where it is.
Say that second part again, I can't hear you. It's going to take them probably at least 25 minutes. And I'd have to cut that back. Beautiful. Okay. I'll be back in touch with you soon. Thank you, Nate. Bye.
One, two, one, two, one, two.
Good afternoon. Today, a jury representing our community and our nation rendered a historic verdict. A verdict against Alex Jones's lies and their poisonous spread, and a verdict for truth and for our common humanity. For over a month in this courthouse, this jury bore witness to Alex Jones' 10-year attack on the family standing behind me. An attack that made him very rich, an attack that exploited the fears and resentments of his audience, an attack that targeted these families with the lie that they were frauds, that they faked the deaths of their loved ones, including their 6- and 7-year-old children, who Alex Jones claimed never existed at all. And all for Alex Jones's personal profit. And so after years of fear, threats, harassment, after realizing that Alex Jones's cruelty and greed knew no bounds, they decided to take a stand. Take a stand for themselves. Take a stand to affirm that the lives of their loved ones, their children, were real, beautiful, meaningful, not to be used as cheap props to be torn apart by Alex Jones for profit. So they sought refuge and justice from this jury. And in doing so, their courage has inspired us, and they've done a great service for this country. The jury's verdict is a testament to that courage, and a resounding affirmation that people of goodwill, dedicated to the truth, mindful of their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, can come together to protect the innocent, to reveal lies masquerading as truth, and to set right a historic wrong. We are so very grateful to this jury. We want to thank them for their service, for their dedication, for their time, for their commitment, for their compassion. We want to thank all of the court staff and personnel, the marshals, the court clerks, the courtroom secretaries. I especially want to thank these families, the trust that they've shown in us, allowing us to carry forward for them the memories of their loved ones and the people we lost at Sandy Hook. I want to thank our team at Koskoff. I want to thank my partner Josh Koskoff, who presented the evidence with me. I want to thank all the lawyers who participated in this case: Matt Blumenthal, Sarah Steinfeld, Colin Antaya, Doug Morabito, Jess Hartman, Lorena Thompson. I want to thank our staff, especially Pratika Seshadri and Aaron Susko, who worked tirelessly to the bone in this case. And I especially want to thank my partner Eleanor Sterling, who's been on this case with me from the very beginning. And words cannot convey what she has meant to this case and what she has meant to me over the course of all this. And so all I can say is that we would not be here without Eleanor Sterling. So thank you for your interest. I want to introduce my partner, Josh Koskoff. Thank you very much.
Sir, can you spell your name for us, sir? Can you just spell your name?
It's Mattei.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here in this historic moment. It's an inflection point, I think. We have this jury has taken back for all of us something we've been hemorrhaging over the last decades, which is core decency and humanity. The failure to be able to hear each other or listen to each other, and the gullibility of believing that people are bad people or good people, the maligning of people, the maligning of these families. This is an incredibly restorative moment, I think. The jury's verdict is a verdict for common decency and humanity. And it is a message to those that would be willing to pounce, to use tragedy for their own distortive purposes, to divide us all. We're better than that. And it doesn't pay. In the end, it won't pay for you. It won't pay for you financially, it won't pay for you morally, and it won't pay for you spiritually. And I'd like to turn this over to the real heroes here, which are the families that we've had the privilege to represent these going on, in my case, almost 10 years. Those are the real heroes here, and those are the voices that Alex Jones tried to malign and trounce and disparage, and those are the ones that speak most proudly today. So I'd like to turn it over to my friend, Robbie Parker.
I couldn't be more proud to stand here and with all of these people, and I really miss my wife and daughters right now. They can't be here with me, but our lawyers helped give me the strength to finally find my voice and to fight and to stand up to what had been happening to me for so long, and for how I let my voice be taken away from me and my power be taken away from me at the expense of my daughter and at the expense of my family. So I have to thank them for helping me get the strength, and the families that I've been associated with for 10 years through this tragedy are the most beautiful people you'll ever encounter, and their children and their moms and their wives are the most beautiful people you could ever get to know. All I can really say is that I'm just proud that what we were able to accomplish was just to simply tell the truth. And it shouldn't be this hard, and it shouldn't be this scary. I shouldn't have to worry about what my daughters are going to go through when I tell them that it's best that they just tell the truth. Because that's all we did. Every day in that courtroom, we got up on the stand and we told the truth. Everybody that took the stand told the truth except for one. The one who proclaims that that's what he does. But while the truth was being said in the courtroom, he was standing right here lying. I can't express enough gratitude for the jury, not just because of their verdict, but for what they had to endure, what they had to listen to, for what they did in their lives, and that they just simply were able to take the truth that they heard and do an impossible job and render a verdict with it. No matter what it was, it didn't matter, because what we got out of it meant more than anything that anybody could ever give us. And honestly, for anybody that still chooses to listen to that man, just ask yourself, what has he ever given you? And compare that to whatever it is that he's taken from you. Do you still have your family members with you? And they still believe in you and trust you? What have you ever gotten from him? And what has he taken from you too? Thank you for everything. Thank you.
My name is Erica, and I am the daughter of John Lafferty Hochsprung, who is the principal of Sandy Hook Elementary School. And as I was upstairs testifying about the rape threats that were sent to me, Alex Jones was standing right here holding a press conference. After almost a decade of threats and messages from conspiracy theorists led by Jones, this is a moment years in the making. And in this big moment, like in every big moment, since the shooting, I wish I could just call my mom and tell her about it. I would tell her about the horror of watching Alex Jones hold court with the press outside right here. About the disappointment of so many news outlets who've known us since 12/14, run his words unfiltered. The heartbreak of reliving the shooting as so many families shared stories of their slain loved ones. But I would also like to tell her about the bright spots. News station like NBC Connecticut refused to give a dangerous conspiracy theorist a platform throughout this trial, and I thank them. The jury bravely bore witness to our pain, sitting through hours upon hours of testimony that will never leave their minds. And then there were people who were by my side throughout this the trial, and Chris, Eleanor, Josh, Matt, and team. You guys were my guideposts and my shining lights throughout all of this. And I cannot thank you enough for your compassion, extreme expertise, and your friendship. I wish I could tell my mom about all of this. I wish I could tell her about so many things that have happened since she was murdered. Mostly that I'll never stop missing her. I wish that after today I could just be a daughter grieving my mother and stop worrying about conspiracy theorists sending me threats or worse. But I know that this is not the end of Alex Jones in my life. I know that his hate, lies, and conspiracy theories will follow both me and my family through the rest of our days. But I'm also hopeful for what happened here today, that it may save other families from high-profile tragedies from the cycle of abuse and re-traumatization that we have all been put through as we simply try to survive the hardest days, weeks, and years of our lives. I'm incredibly proud and thankful for the message that was sent here today. The truth matters, and those who profit off of other people's pain and trauma will pay for what they have done. There will be more Alex Joneses in this world, but what they learned here today is that they absolutely will be held accountable.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley, and I actually wasn't going to speak today. I think I'm still in a little bit of shock. And in addition to the thanks that Robbie and Erica already shared, there is an additional bright spot. Just reconnecting with so many of these families again has been something that I'm going to miss tomorrow. I'm not going to miss not coming back to this courtroom, but I'm going to miss not being able to sit and talk with them. And I have always believed in the goodness of people. And when I first started engaging with followers of Alex Jones back in January 2013, I was looking for the good, and I didn't find it. And I gave up until I decided to fight. And today, with this jury, who I have so much gratitude for listening so attentively, for not just listening, for hearing us. I'm so grateful to them, and this is sending the right message that people are good and that good does prevail. And thank you for restoring my faith in people about that.
Good afternoon. My name's Bill Sherlock. My wife and Dawn Hochsprung were the first two people to approach the shooter that morning and paid for it with their lives as true first responders that had nothing at their side but their want to protect the kids and the staff. And I've come to know these people over almost 10 years. These beautiful people, they're good friends under the worst, most horrendous situation that you can imagine. And to belittle that horrific event is criminal in and of itself. We came in here with a default verdict, so we knew there would be some sort of statement coming out of this trial. Didn't know what it was going to be, but there would be a statement. And the jury today, and our thanks to them, came through and responded as we hoped they would for our entire community. And from a personal standpoint, what it does to me is it shows that the internet is not the wild, wild west, and that your actions have consequences. And for someone to stand in front of a camera, probably right now as we're speaking, to spew the lies, to enrich themselves, well, now there's a cost-benefit analysis that'll have to be done, because we've sent a response. We put a dose of civility into the society that we really need at this point in time. And going forward, because unfortunately there will be other horrific events like this, people like Alex Jones will have to rethink what they say, how they say it, how long they say it. And for those who want to be Alex Jones wannabes, this trial, this verdict, set a pretty high hurdle in cost in terms of what the cost would be to them to enter into that realm of lies and deceit. Again, my thanks to Koskoff Law Firm. This is just an unbelievable team. They become like family to us, and my entire family thanks them, and thanks to media coverage. Thank you very much.
Do a couple questions. Chris, Josh, bring that.
Josh and Chris, can you please give us a sense of the sweep of this? They shut Alex Jones down. Is that what you want? Is that what you're thinking might happen? Just give us a sense of this historic nature of this.
The family's objective in all of this, in all of it, was just to hold Alex Jones accountable and to make clear to the world the harm and wreckage that lies like the ones he pushed can have. Not just on them, but on families like them, on the next families that have to deal with the unspeakable tragedy of a mass shooting. And so what we think is that this jury's verdict reflects their considered view of just how devastating his conduct was. And he has to bear the consequences of that. You know, we said in our closing argument that the spread of this lie, which reached upwards of 1 billion people we know, that was his doing. That's what he wanted. And so the jury's verdict should reflect that type of damage, and that's what we think happened. And so in that sense, we believe it is historic, and we are going to enforce this verdict. I want to make that very clear, that we are going to go to whatever forum we have to, whether it's in Texas or in bankruptcy court or right here. We are going to enforce this verdict as long as it takes, because that's what justice requires.
The families are the most important thing. That's how you get through this. And if, besides this amazing law firm, it's the families that have helped me come up every day. And when every name was called, it was a moment to send each and every person who has suffered the most horrible thing ever, the most love we can. Because that's what it is for me. And that's what it is for these families. We love each and every person, and we want each and every person to be recognized for the harm that's been done to them.
Well, one of the things that Alex Jones tried to do throughout this case was to hide his assets, to conceal from the court, from the jury, the true extent of his profits here. But we're going to find out. You know, one of the things that the bankruptcy court allows, and the action we brought in Texas to go after his fraudulent transfer of assets, is a lot of scrutiny on what assets he has, what he's transferred, and what is available. And so whatever is available, you can rest assured that we, as representatives of these families and the other families who have brought cases, will be coordinating to make sure that those assets are available for recovery to the victims of his offenses.
Last one or two, guys. It's been...
It doesn't surprise you guys that he was screaming
I mean, is anybody surprised at that? I mean, how many millions did Alex Jones make off a trial about Alex Jones making millions off of the backs of these devastated families? How many millions did he make off of this process? How many more millions? How much beet juice is he selling right now? How much bogus iodine supplements or whatever else he sells at great markup to his gullible listeners? It doesn't surprise me at all. And if this verdict shuts down Alex Jones, good. Does Alex Jones have a legitimate business going? Since 9/11, he's been walking in the shadow of death to try to profit from the backs of people who have just been devastated and uprooted. That is not a business model that should be sustainable in the United States of America.
Guys, last question. It's been a long day. Can you tell folks what the next step is on the punitive damages next month?
Right, so the next step of this proceeding is for Judge Bellis to consider punitive damages under Connecticut's Unfair Trade Practices Act. That's a decision for her to make. Those damages, if she awards them, will be on top of the jury's verdict here. And we'll be making a presentation to her over the course of the next month. Once that is concluded, whether there's an appeal or not, we will be active down in Texas in an action we brought to track any fraudulent transfers of assets he's made, and in bankruptcy court, where we are now very significant creditors of Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, his business. So this is going to continue on. Hang on one second. But we will be at it as long as it takes. And if you're out there right now and you're one of Alex Jones's audience members and you're considering giving him money, I just want you to know that based on the jury's verdict today, it's not a very good bet. And to go back to what Robbie Parker said, all Alex Jones does is take from you, exploit you, lie to you, feed your fears and your anxieties and your mistrust. And the only person that benefits in that equation is him. Well, that stops. That's stopping today, thanks to the courage of these families. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, go that way.